Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Glowstik back with another video, and today we're gonna be making a simple ping command as you guys have asked. If we go here, I made a little poll, and overwhelmingly it was a ping command, so that's what we're gonna be doing. And let's open up VS Code and let's get started. Okay, so here's our VS Code, and now if you don't have your folder already open, just click here and open your folder by clicking this and then choose your folder. But we have it open, and let's create our file and stuff like that. So what we want to do is where we're going to code our command is make a ping.js. That's what I'm going to be calling it, and then we have to put some code in there already. So we're going to use module, hold up, I can't spell this, but module.exports and then equals bracket. So now we have to give it a name, which is going to be in quotations, and give it ping, the comma, and then give it give it a description. Hold up, I think I spelled that incorrectly. Okay, and then it's gonna be gives you the bot ping. Now that we have that, we can have an execute command, and then it will just tell us what this is used for, whatever packages that we're gonna use. So we're just gonna have message and args. We don't need anything else. And I'll put another bracket and open that up. Now this is where we actually do the coding. So first we have to start off with a message.channel.send, and we can do finding bot ping. Now we could have a .then statement. So after that runs, it will do this now. And then have an arrow function, another brackets, and open it up. Now this way we can actually code our ping command. So we're gonna make a const, which is like a variable, and we're gonna call it ping. It's gonna be equal to msg, so message dot created time stamp. Now this should be capital, but with that we could do message, and then it's gonna minus it by dot create timestamp. So now what this will do is this is gonna get us our ping. So now we can call this at whatever time and it will give us ping. Okay, so now we have to actually display it, and how we display it is we can do this, and we could just do msg.edit and then put it in and you want to use these. So usually we've been using quotations. No, you want to use the tilde key, so it's like those little slides, so you can add like variables into it. That's why we use that. And we're going to do bot speed slash ping, and then equals, and this is going to be in ms. So you want to do this, and then $, and then brackets, curly braces, and ping. Now we can just add ms and close that off. Now the main part of our code actually, or our thing, is basically done. And yeah, now we actually have to add it into the index file. Now what we're gonna do for that is we will be having like an if command. So as I showed you in the last episode, have if, and then we could actually, and then if command equals. Sometimes in Python it's 2 equals, and in JavaScript it's 3. Every language has its own, and now it's going to be called ping. Of course, open up brackets, and now we have to do client.commands.get. So this will actually get the command. So it will go into our folder, and then it will get it, and it will search for ping. if it finds it, then we do execute, and then we can pass in our functions, or like what do you call our modules that we use. So as you can see here, we passed in message and args. So that's what we're going to do, message comma args. Now actually the command should be done, so let's run it and let's see what happens. So let's run notespace dot and wait for it to say Maester has logged in, or whatever you put in. So as you see, it says Maester has logged in, meaning if we switch over to our Discord, and we can see Maester is actually up. And if we run ping, it'll say finding bot ping, and then bot ping slash speed equals whatever it is. Now we can just spam this honestly, and it would change every time because it's bot ping. We can add another feature. Now this, if you're making a public bot, just keep it at this, and I don't suggest you adding anything else. But since this video is going to be a bit short, I'm going to add something else for you. If this is a private bot, I suggest you do this. Okay, so something that we're going to add to the bot, and now only do this if your bot is a private bot. And if you don't know what a private bot is, it's something like my bot here. It's only on this server. If you go on any other server, and any other server, so if we go on our Maester server or something, as you see, it's not there, and that's because it's a private bot. So and this is limited to your server. If you're making a public, not do this, because it will really be hard to if somebody doesn't have the proper rules or anything, it will really cause bugs. So I suggest you'd only do this for a private bots. But anyways, without further ado, I'm going to show you how to do it anyways. So what you do is, let's actually go into our VS Code. So now, as you can see here, we're in here, and we have to first declare our we have to declare our muted and main roles. So now how we do is by using let. Now let's kind of another way how to have a variable, but you can add arrow function, stuff like that into it too. So main role equals message, and then it's message. We have to do message.guild.member.cache find. Message.member.guild.cache.find, and then add parentheses right there. Now we can have an arrow function into this. Now if you don't know how to do an arrow function, it's literally it's equal keys, and then this little thing right here, and then space. Now we can do role, no, that's name, role dot name equals, and now we have to define our role name. Now I went over equals is equals, basically equals. It's confusing, but yeah. Now what you have to do is that has to be your default role name. So if we go into our Discord over here, now on my Discord member, okay, I have all these other ones as extra, but what you start off with, if we go into text channels, right, and let's say here he's a subscriber, so right, member. So then you have to have member. You can't, if you call anything else, you're gonna have an error because it won't be able to find it. So member. Now, right, now that we have that, we have to let's end it off, and now we have to basically do it. Now I'm just gonna copy and paste it in so you don't have to waste your time, and this is gonna be your muted role. Now if we go into your Discord again, you have to first create a muted role, and you can do that by going into your role settings, roles, and then making a muted role. Now as you can see, I made mine, and it has view channels, and all you need is, it doesn't have terms except read message and stuff like that. And now here's the big important part. What you gotta do is, if you go into your settings, you have to make sure your muted role cannot talk, or else if it can talk, then there's no point of having a muted role. So now that we have our muted rule, and make it's case sensitive, so that's our muted rule. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take that, go into our VS Code, and we can put that in. Now we know our muted rules, right? And let's just change this to mute rule. Now what we have to do is, when our ping goes higher than a certain amount, then we basically know it's spamming, because unless you have garbage Wi-Fi, it probably won't mute you. I mean, like, your ping probably won't be higher than 2,000, I guess. 1,000 is, like, you know, already high, but yeah. So what we're gonna do, sorry, I actually added a tab, is we're gonna add an if statement. Now adding if statement is if we went over this and it's ping, right? And now if your ping is, you have to do ping is higher than symbol 2,000 right here. Now if your ping is higher than 2,000, we add this. Okay, and now we can get rid of that. And now if we can say else, right, you don't have to put anything for an else, because if this doesn't run, then this will run 100%. So now else, it will display your ping. Okay, now let's actually add the thing that mutes you. Now it's simple, actually. It just replaces your role, and all you have to do is, alright, so I'll just show you how to do it. So, oh, actually, I forgot one thing. So we have to, because if you want to mute somebody, you have to get their ID, so you can actually ping them, or like stuff like that. So what we're gonna have to do is, we have to make another constant user equals, and this is gonna be equal message dot author. So whoever writes this message is gonna get the user, and then we have to have another one which is gonna be user target. So we have to do that, user target. Now this is gonna target that user by getting its ID. So we have to do message dot guild dot members dot cache, and now dot get. Okay, dot get, and now we have to pass in our users. Now we already made we already made a variable, a constant, that's user. So user dot, and you can do user dot ID. Now you basically have the user's ID. So for example, if we were to, you know, comment this out and have it say message dot channel dot send, we just have user target. If we have that going, right, and tried it out, tried our ping command here, have ping, oh sorry, made a mistake, oh yeah, it has to be, sorry, I'll stop it and then I'll come back to you when I fix this. Okay guys, so I got it fixed. It was actually my bad. So in here you have to, I forgot to add in between guild and cache, there's supposed to be rules, so just update that on your screen. And then over here, right now I added user.target, so it will get this, and now it will get its user.id. Now if we try and run this, so do a node space dot, and if we switch over to our Discord here, we can run m/m, and now as you see, it gives you a random number, and that's not actually any random number. If I right click here and click copy ID, this will get my user ID and paste it in. As you can see, it's the same, because what it does is it gets your user ID. So now what we can do is we can try and make this pingable. Now making this pingable is actually a lot simpler than you thought. So if you want to ping somebody actually in Discord, you can do two ways. So you can actually just ping them. So if I ping the Macer bot, it's a regular ping, or you can actually do it like this. Ping like that, and then put in their ID. So if I get Macer bot's ID, copy ID. As you can see, it was Macer. I can do this for anybody, right? So if I do copy ID, add, right? And now that we have this ID, we can run this through. And that's what we're going to be doing. So let's go to our VS Code here, and let's try and ping it. So we can say user. We could just do this and then add, right? And now you want to add the little thing, brackets and dollar sign and exclamation, and then have user target.user.id. Now this will grab our ID and ping it, and I'll say has been muted spamming. Now it won't actually mute us yet, but it will just at least, you know, ping us and tell us that. So if we run this again and go to our Discord, right, we can run a ping, and it will say, right, I have been muted for spamming. I really have it right now. As you can see, I have it all. And that's what we're gonna do. So now we also want this to edit, so be edited message, so it doesn't like, you know, do that. So edit, boom. So now it'll edit the message instead of just creating a new one. And let's move this, our command, now that we know that works, over here, and let's make the mute command also. So our mute command is actually easy. What all it does is it swaps out your roles. So what we'll do is user target, it grabs it from here, dot roles. So it will access our roles and then remove. It will, and now as you know, we mentioned this here, we have it here. So now we can just call it and then .id. So it will remove that ID of it. And then put up and that off. And now we can just copy this and change this to add. Instead of that, it can be mute. Now let's test out if this actually works. Then it's actually, so if we end this, I do nodes based on. Now it logged in, so we can, let me change it. And now that we're in our Discord, let me just clear this so we have a working thing. And now we could run msash. Now it will tell us because our ping is under 2000. But now let's see if we start spamming, you know, soon it will come up. Now see, this is when it starts. See, as you can see, our ping went above 2000, and so it will say finding bot ping, Glowstik has been muted for spamming. And now if you actually look, it has taken out our muted role, has taken our member role, and has given us muted. So I'm just gonna unmute myself real quick, give me back the member role. But as you can see, it will swap out roles automatically. So if, say, this was another person, they will actually get muted for spamming. Yeah. Now here's the code if you would like to take another look at it. And yeah, that's basically going to be it for this video. This, I added a bit more than just the ping command, and like, because again, I'm gonna be uploading a lot more. So I think the next video will be coming out on this Thursday, so be tuned for that. And yes, thanks for watching, and until next time, bye.